Hi, I'm Roy. I'm going to show you how to make handles for coffee cups today. So there are a couple of different ways. One is called a strap handle. This is how we make a strap handle. Just kind of take your coil of clay and put your fingers like that. Not a lot of water. It's got to be well lubricated, no stickiness. Use your thumb to flatten it out a bit. Thin it, thin it, thin it. Flatten, flatten. Flatten it carefully. Be careful not to get any weak spots in the handle, or else it'll break. When you're pulling the handle, notice how I continue to stroke all the way down, off the end of the handle. I don't try and stop at the end. Keep going, otherwise you're going to make a weak spot or a kink down there. So for this handle, I like to let it set up a bit before I do anything with it. Make another one here. A lot of water. I like this handle better than an extruded handle because it kind of tapers in thickness from the top to the bottom. It gives it a much more graceful look, I think, than an extruded handle. It's all the same shape all the way down. Plenty of water, pull all the way through. Looks about right. So I'll get back to those later. Another way to make a handle, a way that I really like, is to attach your initial coil of clay directly to the pot and then pull the handle from there. So I'll score the place where I'm going to attach the handle, top and bottom. Score. A little bit of water, just a drop. If this is too wet, then your handle will not stick. So a nice tapered piece of clay. Get a nice flat place to attach, and then you kind of roll it around to make a pointed, just a little bit of a point on the end where you're going to attach it. That is so that you can squish it on there without trapping any air. You want a very, very good contact there. Kind of massage it into the cup like that. Now that has made a thin spot in the handle here, so we kind of squish the rest of the handle to make it the same thickness. Otherwise we'd have a weak spot here when we do the pulling. Okay, moving over here now. And so now it's pretty much like before. Use a lot of water. Thin it out. The initial strokes here are more about smoothing the piece of clay that you're working with. Not so much getting length or thinness at this point, but smooth it out. Okay, now it's pretty smooth. You can feel it, it's pretty smooth, so we can thin it and lengthen it. As before, plenty of water, pull all the way. That looks pretty good. So now dry your hands off, and we'll just bend the thing like that to see where the handle wants to go. Right about there. Now we're going to squeeze the bottom into the cup, and when we do that, it'll push the handle away from the cup. So at this point we push it down a little bit closer to the cup than we want it to finish. And I should have put some water in there. A little bit of water. Now we squish it on, and it'll rise up. Oh, that's a thick handle. And just kind of squeeze that off. Don't spend a lot of time trying to smooth this out. It just looks, I don't know, clumsy. It's better to just finish it quickly, and it'll look good. Also remember that when you glaze the thing, that'll cover up a lot of defects or apparent defects in the joining area. Anyway, so round that out a bit. This also helps to attach the handle. That looks reasonably good. I don't try and disguise the fact that there's a handle sticking out of the side of the cup there. It's okay with me. Clean it up a little bit with a brush if there's something to clean up. There you go. Just like that. All right, let's do that one more time. So have a look at the cup, figure out where you'd like the handle to go. Not too low, not too high. There's just, Joanne says there's a shoulder in your cup. There's some place that's a shoulder, and that's where the handle should go. So that looks like a shoulder to me, I guess. Score. I broke my scoring tool. This takes forever now. Okay, water. Not too much. Make a point. Make sure it's not too wet. Just kind of screw it in, push it in. Try not to squeeze it. You know, you have to squeeze it a little bit. That can't be avoided, but so now you've made a thin spot where your thumb is. Squeeze the thickness from below to up, make it the same. That's it. Plenty of water, smooth out the handle. I also sometimes push up a little bit. That just kind of joins it even more firmly. Smooth it out. If your handle comes off at this point, it means that it was too wet at the joint. You put too much water on there, and the handle won't stick if that happens. Nope. Okay. All right, that looks about. Dry off your hands. You can also check, is the handle, coming straight out of the cup. That looks perfect, but unfortunately we have to attach it still, so pull it a little bit too close to the cup and then push it back. This should come right off. Your hands. Just kind of smooth that in. You can cut this off with a wooden knife or something if you like that. Just don't spend a lot of time on this part. It'll just look worked over. Massage this part here. Kind of work it into the body of the cup. I'm not scraping the clay down the side of the cup. I'm more like pushing it into the cup. We'll clean up with a brush. There's a bit of a gap here, but I don't worry about it. The glaze will fill that in. Okay. It's a cup.